So the manhunt begins again, and the National Guard show up, moving along, the riverfront. And Rambo hides under the water, covered by the rocks, and makes it past their line. He then makes his way on almost to freedom, but happens accidentally upon a young male hunter, almost a baby. Rambo gives him a warning, like a warning look, almost knife attacking him in the encounter. So he tosses the kid down, disarms him, then runs off. And the boy calls for help, and Rambo's plan is blown. They fire off at him, the boy and the hunters, and the National Guard is tipped off, and they fire chase Rambo, who must have got or acquired his new M16 from one of the deputies in the hunting scene. So, Rambo rushes to the mine, and him and the amateur guardsman exchange fire patterns, firing back and forth. And Rambo is cornered and eventually runs out of ammo. And Lieutenant Clinton Morgan, part-time National Guardsman, full-time pharmacist, orders Rambo out, or they will fire a rocket from a rocket launcher into the mine. So Rambo, decides to make a run for it, and the entrance to the mine is blown apart, sealing his body inside. So shortly after that, Troutman, Teasel, and Kern show up, and Teasel is pissed at them, disobeying orders, ordering them to dig out the body, and gets into an argument with Troutman, who plays along, it seems, but somehow suspects or knows that Rambo is still alive. It's a great scene, with serious but comedic undertones, as the guardsmen pose for Soldier of Fortune, and their circus antics are, berated and scolded by Teasel, and it's just nice to see, that Teasel makes them his bitch. So now it's welcome to Act 3, and cinematographer Andy Laszlo starts this scene up great, lighting the bowels of the cave with two matchsticks glued together. It's pretty impressive and innovative, and it looks great on film. So, Sly strikes it up, checks his surroundings, finds some kerosene or flammable-like fluid, tears apart his tunic, wraps drenched strips along his survival knife blade as a, some kind of hybrid survival knife torch, and moves off, following the air current deep into the underground, through hell and his own turmoils to find an exit. So he descends a ladder that breaks, and he falls down into the water, almost extinguishing the flame, but he gets lucky. But he ends up hurting his ribs and his arm, and then he goes down, through chasms filled with water, almost drowning at parts because the ceiling is so low he doesn't have a lot of space. And I just love that makeshift torch and how it looks in the scene. Anyway, he realizes at one point he's in a rat den, and the rats in the rat den attack him, and he squishes the rats, and he pulls rats off his body, and the rats are attacking him, and he tosses them about, and escaping them into other chambers. So back in town, Teasel has visited the office, and now he's met up with Troutman at the local bar. So Troutman here in this scene shows sad optimism as they share wisdomatic parting words. And Teasel, who feels robbed of his chance, rather checks himself. eventually, you know, he parts, leaving Troutman behind in the bar. And back within the earth, Rambo happens upon a ladder. And indeed, an exit from the mine. So he climbs it rather, he climbs its rather frail-looking wood to the open air, and spots an oncoming convoy, which, the last truck of which he jumps down to, like, onto the back, and then swings around and enters the vehicle, and hijacks it, at knife point, gaining knowledge of its contents, and relieving a guardsman of his duty. He kicks the guy out of the truck. In this scene, Rambo even has his only one funny line here too, saying, "Don't look at me, look at the road. That's how accidents happen." As he, has the guardian at the guardsman, at knife point, and the guardman almost tries to get friendly. I love the look on Sly's face when Robert A. Cathcart says, "I got no beef with you," then is forced to roll out of the moving truck. It's fucking hilarious. So, Rambo breaks off course to a service road, and soon after, Robert A. is picked up by a patrol car, and back at the station, Teasel is notified that the plug was pulled too soon, and that Rambo guy is on the loose again. So Cathcart and officers set chase on Rambo, firing at him from the cruiser, or the cruiser that they're in, and Rambo sideswipes them into a parked car. I think they live. Anyway, so Rambo doesn't kill anybody in this movie. Anyway, spoiler alert. Sorry, guys. Anyway, so Rambo's road rage continues as he leaves them wrecked and in his dust, and happens upon a roadblock, ramming through it and on firing officers, and by the cover of night makes it into town. So he takes out a gas station pump, unites himself with the M60 machine gun from the back of the truck, strikes up a Zippo that I can't not help but wonder why he didn't use before. I mean, did he just find it now? Anyhow, kaboom goes the gas station and parking lot side by. The explosion is so great that the camera shakes, and its impact is so impressive that even Michael Bay would be jealous. So, boom, wildfire everywhere. Teasel orders Lester and fire hose Violator out there to the blaze to kind of regain control on the streets. So meanwhile, Teasel loudspeakers an evacuation process for the civilians on the streets, to the townspeople, and then he arms up in the weapon part, or the weapon armory of the police station. So Troutman shows up, and like before, he argues Teasel to let Rambo go and let Rambo defuse himself before it results in Teasel and quite possibly town civilian deaths, or more policeman deaths, or more law official deaths, so to speak. Anyway, so Troutman almost looks ready kind of to take Rambo out himself if asked, and it's shot down by an insulting Teasel. And it's a great moment on film that brings forth the climactic conclusion, like the big climax, and Rambo's orgy of just rage. And a lot is revealed in this scene, I won't ruin all of it for you, but anyway. So Rambo resumes through the town shadows, rips up a game store hunting shop. hunting shop, like a game store hunting shop. Anyway, I love how he cuts open the black powder kegs and cans with the survival knife. With that aviator is just great for everything. And I love how he makes the ammo bomb and how he fires at it with the M60, cross bandoleros and all, blowing the fucking shit out of the place. I think it's, it's another great scene, and it just looks really fucking cool. It's a great scene for Sly. Anyway, so Teasel sets up on the roof of the police station as Rambo shoots out the power lines, darkening the vicinity. And everyone everywhere is going crazy. The town's thrown into pitch, with, the fire in the distance. So, sorry about that slip up, people. Anyway, I'm trying to keep this, but there is a rating on this one. There is a rating. Anyway, I'm trying to keep it a friendly, language friendly, but you have been warned. There was a rating on this one. Anyway, rated R for Rambo. So the town's in pitch black as he takes out, the other electrical lines, throwing Teasel off guard. And Rambo shoots up a shopping center. It's a great Return of the Gunslinger type scene or type moment that results in Rambo even blasting apart the interior and exterior of the police station from outside. And we just see that whole place get torn the fuck apart. So Teasel grabs his gun in prayer, like that holy shit moment, then hops over to a skylight or skyline type window on the top of the police station, in the middle of the roof, to snipe Rambo out. And, like he wants to snipe Rambo out when he enters the station from the roof. It's classic draw time as Sly enters the decimated station, moving in the dark, in and out of the shadows. He appears almost like godlike and frightening. And if I were in Teasel's place, that would definitely put the fear of God into me. And let me tell you, that police station is fucking obliterated, because, Rambo's outside behind that, I think he's behind a mailbox or something, and he's just laying it out, man, with that M60, and, the windows are exploding, everything, and, he's really giving Teasel the run for his money. Teasel is, up on the roof, Rambo sees him up on the roof, and I guess it's, another psychological warfare tactic, he just comes out, guns blazing, bam, 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 shoots the shit out of the whole fucking police station, man. Filing cabinets, the whole place is all torn down. When Rambo walks in after the whole place is, torn down inside. It's really something else to see. So, psychologically, I guess, I would be damaged if that was to happen to me. It's just a really brilliant, wonderful scene, and it brings a whole climax to the next scene, to the end, and it just shows that there's no going back. Rambo has been pushed too far, and whereas before they could have disarmed him, maybe even let him go. Now he's coming to collect. Now there's no more, letting it go. So he's determined to unleash hell, and he really unleashes it on that police station. And Teasel up there holding his rifle, probably praying not to miss. And he makes his way over to the sky lamp roof thing window. All bets are off, and it's time for the final showdown.